Two strangers step into a packed football stadium. They've never met. They don't know each other's names. They've never spoken a single word to each other. One notices the other's jersey. Same colors. Same logo. He raises his hand. The other smiles and slaps it without hesitation. For the next 3 hours, they cheer together, celebrate together, groan together. When their team scores, they hug like lifelong friends. Across the stadium, another crowd explodes in disappointment. They're wearing different colors, different symbols, different identity. Nothing personal has happened between these two groups. No one has exchanged an insult, no one has even met. So, why does the human brain instantly decide who feels like one of us? And who doesn't? That question is far older than football. Far older than cities, far older than history itself. To answer it, we have to travel back to a time when belonging wasn't about entertainment. It was about survival. Imagine waking up 100,000 years ago. You are not the strongest animal in the valley. You are not the fastest. You have no claws, no fangs, no thick fur. Alone, you won't survive for long. A lion doesn't care how intelligent you are. A winter storm doesn't care how brave you are. One injured ankle, one bad hunting season, one night without shelter could be enough to end your story. But humans discovered something no other large animal had mastered quite the same way. A lone human is fragile. A united group is formidable. That discovery changed everything. It meant food could be shared. Children could be protected. Knowledge could be passed from one generation to the next. The weak could recover instead of being abandoned. The old could teach instead of simply trying to survive. Cooperation became humanity's greatest advantage, but cooperation creates a new problem. How do you know who will stand beside you when danger comes? How do you know who will share food instead of keeping it? Who will protect your children? Who will keep their promise? In a small world filled with uncertainty, that question mattered every single day. And slowly, almost invisibly, the human brain began searching for an answer. Not who is perfect, but who are my people? At first, the answer was simple. Your people were the ones who slept beside the same fire, the ones who recognized your face, the ones who knew your voice, the ones who would notice if you didn't come home. Belonging wasn't an emotion. It was protection. Imagine a child wandering too far from camp. Alone, the child is vulnerable, but the moment someone from the group hears the child's cry, everything changes. People run, not because they're the strongest, because they're connected. That invisible connection became one of humanity's greatest survival tools. Over thousands of generations, our ancestors learned something extraordinary. A group of ordinary people working together could accomplish what no extraordinary individual could accomplish alone. They could surround animals much larger than themselves, build shelters before winter arrived, care for the sick, raise children whose parents had died, share knowledge that no single person could discover in one lifetime. Every generation inherited more than genes. It inherited a community, but communities only survive if people know who belongs. Imagine a hunting party returning home. One person approaches through the trees. At a distance, you can't recognize their face. Your brain has only moments to answer an ancient question. Friend or stranger? Wait too long and you might miss an ally. Trust too quickly and you might invite danger. Evolution doesn't reward perfect decisions, it rewards decisions that improve the odds of survival. So the human brain became astonishingly good at spotting signals of belonging. A familiar face, a familiar language, shared customs, shared stories, shared symbols. None of these guarantee someone is trustworthy, but together they answer a practical question. Are you one of us? As time passed, those signals grew more sophisticated. Paint on the body, special clothing, jewelry, songs, flags, uniforms, team colors. They're easy to dismiss as decoration, but they're doing something much deeper. They're telling complete strangers, you belong to my circle. That's why two fans wearing the same jersey can feel connected before they exchange a single word. The jersey didn't create friendship. It activated one of the oldest instincts in the human mind, the instinct to recognize allies. And that instinct changed history. Because once humans learned how to create a strong sense of us, they could cooperate on a scale no other species had ever achieved. That ability transformed everything. A hunting band became a village. Villages became cities. Cities became kingdoms. Eventually, millions of people who would never meet each other still found ways to cooperate, not because they knew everyone personally, but because they believed they belonged to something larger than themselves. Think about it. You'll probably never meet the engineer who designed the bridge you drive across. You'll never know the farmer who grew your breakfast. You don't know the people who maintain the power grid or keep airplanes safely separated in the sky. Yet every day you trust complete strangers. That level of cooperation would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. So how did it become possible? The answer wasn't that humans stopped forming tribes. It was that we learned to make our tribes bigger. A family became a clan. Several clans became a village. Villages became nations. Over time, humans invented powerful ways to make strangers feel like they belonged together. Shared languages, shared traditions, shared laws, shared stories, shared flags, shared goals. These weren't just symbols, they were invitations. Each one quietly said, "You are one of us." But every strength comes with a cost. The same instinct that helps us trust the people inside our circle also makes us notice the people outside it. That's why sports fans paint their faces, why soldiers wear uniforms, why schools have mascots, why companies print logos on shirts, why people gather around the same causes, the same music, the same beliefs, and the same communities online. The human brain is constantly asking a question it has asked for thousands of generations. Where do I belong? And once it finds an answer, it naturally begins to protect that group. That doesn't mean conflict is inevitable. Humans belong to many tribes at the same time. You're part of a family, a neighborhood, a workplace, a nation, maybe a church, maybe a favorite football club, maybe an online community of people you've never met. These circles overlap, expand, change. That's one of our greatest strengths. Unlike most animals, humans can create entirely new tribes around shared ideas, not just shared blood. A classroom can become a tribe. A rescue team can become a tribe. A startup company can become a tribe. Even the people watching this video are, in a small way, becoming a tribe. Connected not by geography, but by curiosity. Perhaps that's the most remarkable part of the story. Humans didn't conquer the planet because we were the fastest, or the strongest, or the fiercest. We succeeded because we became the best at turning strangers into teammates. Every handshake, every team jersey, every family dinner, every national anthem, every community gathering. They're all echoes of one ancient instinct. The instinct to answer a question that has shaped our species from the very beginning. Who are we? And perhaps the greatest force in human history wasn't competition, it was belonging. Because long before humans built civilizations, we built circles, and everything else grew from there.